That's right, folks. The time is now. If you're a Bitcoin lover, this is the place to be. We are just getting started, so let's go have some great conversations. Little fashion show right here. This is Alan. Show me again. Whip it open. Look at that.
We'll even do this because it's more fun. I actually went through and I found when Max and Stacy at El Salvador did the golf tournament, they actually made custom one of one. So being a University of Miami Hurricane, they did all this great stuff. So they have a group out of Germany, 21 million fashions. So you can actually do the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿 coins. And then they even came up with very specialized Bitcoin.
What?
So they do one-on-one. And then what I did is, being an ex-Army Ranger, we added the ex-Army Ranger on one side, my lovely wife, the infamous Dr. Jenny. So we put all the kids' names in the palm tree. So we have Danielle and Chloe. We have our Bitcoin going to infinity. Being on the President's Council at the University of Miami, that was why we came up with this concept of the You Invented Swagger with Bitcoin thrown in.
Wow.
And then it's our 100th anniversary. So over here, we had the 100-year anniversary for Miami. Obviously the Bitcoin consensus. And then the rest of it is tied to Hurricane football and Bitcoin Miami with the You Invented Swagger. So we had a lot of fun, and this is called Block 2 because it's only the second orange jacket ever made after Max and Stacy's in El Salvador.
Can they make number 3 for me? I want one of those. That's gorgeous. We just got the whole story on that blazer.
Exactly.
I
And
love
what's
it.
funny is they even trademarked the stitching. So you couldn't use what Max and Stacy used. No one will ever get to use this combination of buttons. So they're trying to make these crazy works of art, but it's fun.
So fun. So you're obviously a Bitcoin lover. When did you first get into Bitcoin?
About 3 cycles ago. And so I'm now super old and was the guy that was liking Bitcoin, not shitcoins. But that was kind of funny back in the day because nobody actually thought you were supposed to buy all these crazy cryptocurrencies. So I just kind of stayed with Bitcoin. Everyone kind of gets punched in the face a little bit. It's been great for me.
And how do you stay calm through the highs and lows of Bitcoin prices?
Actually, only the first cycle you go through highs and lows. After that, you're just completely numb to the volatility. It doesn't bother you at all. And all you do is go, wow, I get to buy cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So I spent a lot of time creating there's Bitcoin for corporations. So I created a Bitcoin-centric flywheel for wealth management that I use for our own money and my kids' money and everyone that I know's money. And then I just put it up on X. So I posted it so that I was like, people are trying to figure out how to do this. So it's like 40% cold storage, 20% using like BlackRock's financial Bitcoin ETF, 10% MicroStrategy, 10% GameStop. And then the last 20%, you buy a series of Bitcoin yielding dividend payers that pay out on different weeks like MSTY, YBIT, YBTC, and others. And that way, when people say, I'm out of money, I can't buy the dip, then every single week you can buy the dip. Or you can write covered call options against MicroStrategy or GameStop. That generates cash, you buy more Bitcoin. So it kind of sets up a flywheel that you just keep buying Bitcoin. And my kids are, with 7 of them, it's been kind of a circus, but 6 are 23 to 26. So they're peeling off the payroll and they're starting to actually do their own work. So now they have their W-2 payroll that goes directly to Strike. It gets converted to Bitcoin. Then they do all their bills on a credit card, use the bill pay that Jack Mallers and them set up. And what they're finding is since they've been doing this when they graduated and it was $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 Bitcoin, now all of a sudden they're realizing, Dad, I pay off my bills and I have more money than when I started.
You're a good dad to have. So awesome. That's amazing. And your wife, she's on board as well?
Yes, except I am remarried, which I had 4, she had 3. So what was funny is when it's about $3,000 Bitcoin, I get the one of these and it's your Bitcoin. When it's at 110, it's our Bitcoin. It's our Bitcoin. So we had a lot of fun with that, but now she's on board. But when we first were buying Bitcoin for kids, she was like, oh, Bitcoin went down, we got to give them more cash. I'm like, that is not how this works. So I think she's finally kind of settling in, but I think volatility is about one cycle and then you just laugh at it.
And do you have a theory on who Satoshi Nakamoto is?
Don't we all? So I would like to say it's a group, not a person. I think it's known and very kept secret, which is fine. The most convenient person would be Hal Finney, one of the original cyberpunks who has since passed away. Epically smart, unbelievably talented. That's sort of convenient on the story because nothing has ever moved. He was the first person that ever interacted with Satoshi. But I think it's a group, and it's the NSA, the CIA, a bunch of intelligence assets, but I would say the white hats, not the black hats. And they put it out basically knowing it's either going to get killed really fast, or if it takes off, there's nobody that can stop it because of the way the incentive system and the nation states compete with each other in the game theory. And I think they lost it. Now, the funny part is, do you know what Satoshi Nakamoto as an anagram stands for?
No.
If you write it out, you cross off the letters, it'll be "so a man took a shit." I swear to God. So that
Did you figure that out on your own? How did we come to this conclusion?
So this is back in the 2016 cycle in Asia. In the early days when it wasn't this big, it was very small. And you would travel 3 days to each city. You go Singapore, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Seoul, and it was the same people. So you got to know each other and you'd sit around and the lore of where it all came from would come up. But I think there are good people and bad people, much like when you go to early days, you would see the boiler room that got banned from Wall Street. They show up in crypto. You'd have flat out criminals. They'd show up in crypto. And then you started having more of like dorks like me that were trying to do traditional business or build a company, take it public, do all that kind of stuff. So, but that's a true thing that's real because it's a cyberpunk ethos to say F you to the whole system. And there's nothing better than to say, guess where the name comes from?
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Alan. I hope you have a great time in Vegas this week.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
If you like the content, please like and subscribe. It really does help. Thanks.